How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and after days of waiting, the HTC Amaze 4G has finally been upgraded to Ice Cream Sandwich. Let's take a look at the hands-on. Taking a look at Ice Cream Sandwich on the HTC Amaze 4G. Now, just to note, this is Ice Cream Sandwich. It is Android 4.0, but if you're coming from something like the 1X or you're used to using the 1 series that's packing Sense 4, well, as you can see, this isn't Sense 4. This is Sense 3.6. It's kind of an intermediate between Sense 3.5 or Sense 3, if you will, and then Sense 4, which is what we're seeing on the new HTC devices that are launching this year. But you'll see that obviously there have been some changes. You can see the typical Ice Cream Sandwich look and feel. The font has changed, and it looks a lot like the HTC Vivid. In fact, it's almost identical to the build that's on the HTC Vivid. You'll also see some changes here. For example, you can scroll back and forth between the home screens, and you don't see that animation thing that you used to see on previous builds of HTC Sense, where if you spun it too fast, it would spin the carousel around and get kind of annoying. It was really cool for like that. So you don't see the trigger happy version of that. At least I found that it was a lot more unresponsive, or a lot less responsive, I should say, on the older version than what it is now. It takes actually a little bit of effort to get that carousel up and moving on this device, which is much better because if you're scrolling through the screens really quickly, you don't have to worry about it as much. You'll see some other Ice Cream Sandwich things here. For example, press and hold the home button to see your recent applications, which in typical more like Ice Cream Sandwich, and this is actually a difference between Sense 3.6 and Sense 4. You'll notice in Sense 3.6, this looks a lot like original Ice Cream Sandwich, the way that the recent apps are handled in Ice Cream Sandwich, whereas in Sense 4, they've added in a whole new overlay, and if you remember from the 1X, you get the recent apps and then you swipe them up to individually remove them. Otherwise, you'll see some differences here in the applications. You've got your typical stuff down here, frequent and downloaded, but again, font differences, and then in the notifications bar, you'll see quick settings as well. And you'll see some differences here between Wi-Fi and additional settings. The toggles look a little bit different. And then we can go into actual settings here and take a look at, we'll turn off Wi-Fi. For example, Bluetooth, mobile network, usage, and then you can see device, and it's kind of sectioned out here by wireless and networks, device, personal, and then system. And of course, you can go down through here and see things like develop option, and then all the icons, or some of the icons rather, have changed a little bit there. No real changes to the text messaging look and feel here. You can see this sample that I did way back when I was doing a review on it, which apparently I'm a terrible role model because the Quick Brown Fox wants some booze. It's probably a terrible thing to say on a video. But you can see the Sense keyboard here. Again, it's particularly interesting looking at this because when the Vivid was out, we didn't really have a whole lot of hands-on time with the 1X and the 1S. Now that we do, you can really see the differences here between the keyboard. For example, this is the older Sense keyboard, although you'll notice, and I'll bring this up close so you can take a look, the fonts on the keyboard are Ice Cream Sandwich fonts. So there are some minor changes. Of course, the text there you see is Ice Cream Sandwich text as well. So more, mostly it's an aesthetic change. When you unlock or when you lock it and then open it back up here, you can see it's about the same there as well. You'll notice the dock is different down here at the bottom. You can add and remove things. We can pull the camera out, for example. We can put Gmail down in there, and you'll see that when you press and open it back up, your 4 shortcuts here correspond to whatever's down here in the dock, very similar to Android 4.0 or to Sense version 4. So no real changes to the widgets. These are the older look and feel. You'll see that the older Sense widget here with the clock. It's not the newer one that you see in version 4. And then otherwise, we'll take a look at this as well. And you can see I've got a bunch of sample numbers in here, a bunch of demo numbers. But you can see slight changes again to the fonts and slight changes to the icons down here. And of course, phone is over here on the right side, call history, groups, and then people. Although you can press and hold phone and you can move these icons around if you want to and rearrange them. So if you want to put phone back on the left-hand side, you can certainly do that in the settings. Otherwise, menu, you can see typical Ice Cream Sandwich look and feel here with the white text on the black background. We can go into wallpaper and let's see what's changed here. If anything, let's go in and have a look and see if we've got any different wallpapers. I imagine they're pretty much the same here. No real differences, but of course you can get more wallpapers thanks to HTC Hub. But again, focus on the fonts here. They're much more like Ice Cream Sandwich. Camera settings look pretty similar as well. No real differences here. And just giving you a quick look and feel here. Scroll through. Actually, I'll take a look. And what we'll do, we'll look at Gmail, for example. You can see the differences here. This is Ice Cream Sandwich build. The Gmail application, you can see shortcuts down here for new messaging, search, tags, and then refresh. And we'll go in here to Google Team, for example. And then you can see the new header look. Of course, it still stays at the top, but you can see the header with the picture, and then, of course, the 3 dots. So to Ice Cream Sandwich menu interface, reply, and then you've got some shortcuts down here which you can press and hold and see delete. You can see tag, or labels rather. You can see file or archive, and then you can see mark unread. as well. So some differences there, and of course these have capacitive buttons, so it is kind of interesting to see how they integrate the capacitive buttons now that there's, you know, a physical search button and more, how they integrate those older style buttons into Ice Cream Sandwich. They've done a pretty decent job, but if you've already looked at the Vivid, the Ice Cream Sandwich update and the Sense 3.6 update, no real changes here. You know, it looks about the same, although obviously this is packing it on the HTC Amaze 4G browser as well. We'll load up the internet browser just so you can see. And this one's actually still running Old Man McTweety. I haven't switched this one over to Heron Baker yet. So you can see again, menu in the browser, very similar to Ice Cream Sandwich, very similar to what you see on Sense 4.0. And then of course, we can go here and load up PhoneDog. PhoneDog.com. And not PhoneDog. PhoneDog. There it is. PhoneDog.com. And we can load that up and take a look on T-Mobile's HSPA Plus. And of course the page is loading up. So overall transition's nice and fast. You'll see that Ice Cream Sandwich, the Sense 3.6 transition there. Nice and smooth looking, got a good feel to it. And pinch to zoom is nice and responsive. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of all these Ice Cream Sandwich updates. We'll be doing videos as individual devices. As long as I have them in the office and they get Ice Cream Sandwich, I'll certainly do hands-on videos of their respective Ice Cream Sandwich builds. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PhoneDog. Cast your vote for your favorite smartphone in the official smartphone rankings at PhoneDog.com/rankings, and be sure to follow me on Twitter as well. Let me know what you think of the Ice Cream Sandwich update. Has it made your device better? Has it made it worse? Faster? Slower? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know. And let me know if you like little things like the new Google Talk widget, or the new Google Talk icon, rather, anything like that. Let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.